Welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday, brought to you by Idaho Public Television and Montana PBS.
And then do you want me to give it a couple of minutes or do you want me to start?
I say let's go for it.
All right. We have an audience, so let's do it. Well, welcome everybody to our first Tech Talk Tuesday. We're excited to have you join us today. My name is Nikki Vredenberg with Montana PBS. And I'm just going to be starting us off, and then I'm going to hand it over to my colleague at Idaho Public Television. If you're joining us, you'll see on the screen we have a short link to this slide deck, bit.ly/techtalk929. And if you put that in your browser, you will be able to follow along with these slides. We've embedded a lot of links in these slides, so they will probably be a really good resource for you after the webinar ends. We are recording our talk today, and both stations will archive that on their YouTube channels so that you can watch them later or share them with colleagues. If you have any questions, please use the chat box to interact with us, and we'll be talking with you there as well. I'll go ahead and hand it over to, to Carrie here, and she can introduce herself and the teachers that are sharing with us today.
All right. Hi, you guys. I'm Carrie Wardle. I am the education manager at Idaho Public Television, and glad to be here with you today. I brought with me some really awesome teachers. So we are excited to be able to offer this series of webinars. We know that teachers now have a bunch of resources that that are being thrown at you, and we really want to see if we can help you figure out how to really do some hands-on, get in and dig in and teach with those resources. So hopefully you'll find this helpful. So I have two teachers with me from Idaho today. Do you want to go to the next slide, Nikki? Their names are Katie Mason, who is this year's, the 2020-2021, that's a mouthful, Idaho Public Television Digital Innovator. So we select one teacher through nominations every year to be a digital innovator. And I think it's telling that a parent nominated Katie this year and was very impressed by how innovative she is with her first graders. So Katie will introduce herself in a few minutes. She teaches first grade online this year for the Boise Online School District. And then Gabe Garcia is also here. He was last year's Idaho Digital Innovator and is currently the PBS National All-Star Digital Innovator for Idaho, as he was chosen as one of 18 nationwide to be an innovator for PBS. So he works with PBS doing professional development, so and a variety of other things. And so I'm excited to have their expertise here, and they are going to share some really great tips and tricks with you today, specifically for distance learning. Okay, so this is just the agenda of what we'll go through. Gabe will start us off with video creation. So Gabe's the video broadcast teacher at Capitol High School and River Glen Junior High, if I remember correctly. And so he will have some we know that you're all teaching online, and that means creating videos. And so he's going to give you some tricks and tips, things to make your life a little bit easier. Katie's going to talk about designing a schedule, and that's something that we know that teachers are struggling a little bit with, especially how does it look online and remote and, from a distance learning perspective. And then I'll share some resources from PBS Learning Media, and Nikki will talk about giving kids practice as we head into the remote learning. So Gabe, do you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you for that, Carrie. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone's doing really well today. So when Carrie asked me to join today, one of the things that I really wanted to do is focus in on resources that will help you guys for teaching online. I know that one thing that a lot of teachers struggle with in a sense sometimes is technology, because we get in our normal ways of teaching where we use technology where we need it, but then there's times where we don't necessarily use technology all that much. And this year, I think it's really pushing people a little bit, sometimes out of their comfort zone, trying to get used to the technology aspect. So what my goal is for you guys is to provide some insight, both as teachers, and this is to kind of give you an idea of how you can teach different lessons, as well as it's an idea how you can also give lessons to kids so that they can actually create projects using products and stuff like that. So the very first thing I'm going to go into today is talking about free video editing software for students and teachers. Now, I think if you click that link, Nikki, yeah, and then it goes into my, perfect. So you don't necessarily have to be a video broadcasting teacher to do video editing. Sometimes, if you have projects that are kind of bigger and you want students to really harness even just a presentation, but maybe they want to add a few graphics here and there, some of the things that I put together in here are some editing programs that you guys can use. So a lot of these are usable both on Apple, Mac OS, and PC-based systems. So starting from left to right, there is one editor called Hit Film Express. Then we have Apple's iMovie, and finally we have the Wii Video. Now these are really good. These are really good videos software for students to use. They're extremely user-friendly, and I put these three specifically on for you teachers because there are a lot of YouTube videos and how-to videos to access and learn these programs. And the nice thing is, as teachers, oftentimes, when I first started teaching, I always wanted to have the answers for students, and it's okay to not have the answers. And I think one of the big things to enhance critical thinking in students is saying, hey, look it up on YouTube, do a search, a how-to video, and a lot of the how-tos explain step-by-step for students how to access these videos and do tips and tricks. And if you guys are actually interested in using these in your classes for projects or anything, don't hesitate to email me, because I have some resources as well that I couldn't necessarily fit on a slide that I can send you and help you with as well. So those are some of the free, and those are all free. And the other cool thing is if students want to later on advance their skill set and use Adobe-based editing software such as Premiere, the nice thing about all three of these video editing softwares is they're very similar all the way across the board. And in industry, typically they use Adobe Premiere or a aspect of a video editor very similarly formatted as these three. So those are good resources to have. And then I'm going to go back to the main slide. And now for you teachers, what I'm about to talk about is lessons. So the nice thing is with Zoom we can record our lessons, but perhaps you want to do a lesson and you want to record it. Maybe you're going to be out of town. Maybe you want to just have it in your back pocket just in case as like a filler lesson. That way, if you're not feeling good one day, but for online, for your courses, you can actually share this with students and send them this link. So I'm going to show you some free screen and audio recording softwares that you can use as a resource for yourselves. And also students can use this as well. So my three picks for picking for online screen recording and audio recording for your desktop. The first one we have on the far right is called Ice Cream Apps. And that one is a really user-friendly one. You can highlight and pick the area of the screen, very similar to most screen recording. And you can also do notes. You can do, you can use your camera. There's various things that you can screen record off of that. On the far right side, if you are a Apple user, QuickTime is a great resource, because if you open up QuickTime, a lot of times we think, oh, QuickTime's where I play my videos. But the cool thing about QuickTime is QuickTime allows you to do screen recording. It allows you to do audio recording. So perhaps if you teach a class such as Spanish or any other language course, and you have or want to quiz kids and make a test with audio recording, you can use audio recordings such as that and just do audio. You can do just video. And then the movie recording setting allows you to do both audio and video, and it also allows you to screen record yourself, which is really nice. Then the other one, the last one I want to talk about, because this one is probably more in depth, it's called OBS Studio Screen and Audio Recording. I put this one in there. It's free. You can download it from the internet. It won't give you a virus, I promise. But what's amazing about this one is this particular software allows you to go really in depth. And what I mean really in depth, you could hook a camera up to your, this software allows you to connect a camera to your device. So for instance, if you're running off a laptop or even a towered computer, you can plug in a camera and you can live stream to a YouTube channel. Now, this is beneficial. Let's say you're a math teacher and you want to write something out on the board, or chemistry. You can actually record yourself and your lecture, and then you can stream it to a YouTube channel. So Boise School District, we run Gmail. So I can stream it to my Gmail account, gabe.garcia@boiseschools.org, and I can post that video as private or unlisted, so students or no one will see it. But then I can change it and go back and put it as unlisted on YouTube, and then I can share it with students. I can share it with parents, and they can see those lessons on YouTube, so it's readily available and accessible. And perhaps if I made a YouTube video with a bunch of resources and or a homework assignment, I can put that link from Google and do a shareable link and put it in the description of the YouTube video. But the cool thing about OBS Studio is it also does screen recording. It also does audio recording. And then the other cool thing about it is I know that we've ran into those instances where, oh no, I have a video that I want to use, but I don't have a way to download it. I don't want to have it on YouTube, or let's say it's part of a movie. Well, the cool thing is OBS Studio, I can click the audio source to record specifically from that movie, and it'll grab the audio right out of the movie, and you can pick and choose where you want that source. So these three sources of screen and audio recording, they're really beneficial. They're beneficial for students, again, if they're doing big projects and they want an audio recording, but they're also really good for us teachers because we can use them for presenting our lesson plans. And let's be honest, guys, with online learning, sometimes, you know, like these video calls, we have to step out of our norm sometime. And these are really great elements to implement into your lessons. And also it allows for archives. So if you start recording your lessons and saving them too, I mean, you can use them for years to come if you choose to do so. So those are the resources that I have for you guys today. I could go more in depth. For instance, on my slide above my name, I kind of put a little element showing how to get a screen recording set up. But if you have any questions, or if that's something that as a teacher, you're like, oh man, that'd be awesome to live stream or record my lessons or manage those, feel free to email me. I'd be more than happy, but I've started doing those, and I'm actually going to be releasing a YouTube series soon, just talking about video, broadcasting in general and how to edit and just basic stuff. And I'm putting all of my lessons onto YouTube, and I'm going to be putting the assignments and description and all of the resources in the description of that YouTube video. So I'm building upon it right now this year, and I'm hoping to release it next year. That way I have the resources for myself, and hopefully they help other teachers in my class for video. So.
Okay, on to me. Okay, I'm going to talk about designing a virtual teaching schedule. That's been a hot topic, I know, amongst my school district and just teacher circles that I'm in. So if you go ahead and click on the link, I added a variety of schedules. The first one is a schedule from a primary teacher that's currently in a brick and mortar school. And so in the brick and mortar school, at least in my district, they're trying to mirror the actual school day. And so teachers are getting on and off and presenting lessons from the 9:15 in the morning till 3:15 in the afternoon. And so here you can see this teacher has just a schedule for every single day. She's put in that she's having a little Google Meet. We use Google Meet, so she has a little Google Meet icon. She has a little icon, so if you need a pencil, things like that. She has scheduled breaks. If you scroll, keep scrolling. Yep, so down here, she has a scheduled lunch, and she has specials actually scheduled into her time because those special teachers are jumping onto those meets. And then she has office hours at the end of the day where parents can connect with her. So that's one option. I think it's nice to just see what other people are doing, and you can obviously change your schedule so it works for you. If you keep scrolling down, then I know kindergarten, that's kind of a whole nother section. So I wanted to include that option for you guys. This teacher just has a list basically of the day and how it's going to run. She's got whole group meets and breaks, and then she's doing little breakout groups, and then the other students are doing Seesaw assignments. And I'll talk a little bit about Seesaw in a moment. So that's a option for like a half-day kindergarten and how that can work. And then on Friday, she's adding in those additional things like virtual field trips and her specials classes, art and music and things like that. So go ahead and keep going. This is a primary first grade schedule for the online school that we have. They're having a morning meeting, then they're taking a mini break, then they have some ELA whole group instruction and a break. A nice thing, at least with our online school, is we are K through 12, but we've required everybody in the school to have common breaks. So we have a 20-minute break in the morning, like a recess, and then a common lunchtime from 11:30 to 12:15. And so if students are in first grade, or if they're in 7th grade, they can all have those common times together. If parents need to make lunch and things like that. I know it's been something that's been tough in some other schools where students have random recess breaks and random lunch times. That's been a challenge for those parents. So it's nice to have a common time and those common breaks together. And then this schedule also includes Seesaw and office hours and things like that for parents, and the small group instruction, which rotates daily. And then, okay, keep going. And then I offered an intermediate schedule. So if you have higher grades, this teacher, again, is putting in those meet icons, and she's got her schedule kind of set out so that those kids are able to do more independent work. So she has times where if they're not on a meet with her, then they're independently doing that math lesson or ELA lesson or something on their own. I know the primary kids, they need additional help and parents involved and things like that, but the older kids won't need as much help. They keep going. She has whole group time, instruction time, She has a reading to self time, which is nice for those older kids that can handle that time. And then she's, again, doing that small group instruction, or she's meeting with them, or they're doing independent work she's assigned. I think, is that, oh, keep going. Okay, and then this was a general sample schedule that my district sent out that I thought was nice to include, to give you just another idea of how you might set up your day. A lot of these teachers did set up their day according to this schedule, but you can see, you know, there's a morning meeting every time to try and connect with those students and build that community and that rapport. And then it breaks out into the math and the ELA, and then the additional science, social studies specials, that kind of stuff. So those are just some options of some schedules. You're welcome to use any of them if they work for you. You're welcome to share them with others. Hope it gives you an idea. Seesaw, I wanted to touch on Seesaw. So if you want to click on the Seesaw PowerPoint, Seesaw is a great online platform. In my district, we're using it for grades K through 2, and then we're using Google Classroom for the 3 through 12, but it can be adapted for any grade level. And so I included this PowerPoint, and if you just kind of scroll through it, you are welcome to scroll through this PowerPoint, and it will set you up on Seesaw. It will have you explore the tools and activities that Seesaw offers. Students can take pictures, students can do activities, they can record themselves. There's a 2-minute time limit on that though, so it wouldn't be like Gabe's recordings. But they can practice writing skills and all of those things. So this PowerPoint has videos included in it, and you are welcome to explore this on your own and set up Seesaw. And if you have questions, or I can further help you, then you are welcome to email me. I'm at Katie, Katie.Mason, MASON, at boiseschools.org. So you're welcome to go through this PowerPoint, and then, yep, you can exit out of there. And then again, Seesaw can be used on any sort of device. So if students have a tablet, a Chromebook, an iPad, any of those things, Seesaw is available. And then the other one I linked down here was just some resources. So if you wanted to follow some social media resources for Seesaw, or there are professional development courses you can take in Seesaw to gain some further knowledge. Yeah, so that's what I have. I guess good luck with your virtual schedules and and planning for online education.
Thank you both. That was awesome. I learned a lot of things. It's funny how a schedule is something you can tackle in a classroom, right? But then once you start online, it's a whole new world. So thank you guys for doing that. I've put those links in the chat. Our email addresses are all on the final slide of this slide deck. We'll put them up on the screen, but also if you're in this deck, you'll have access to those as well. So you'll be able to email any of us after this, and we're happy to help. Do you want to go to the next slide, Nikki? I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of really cool things that PBS has done to help with distance learning. So PBS Learning Media, in case you are not aware, do you want to click on that? This icon is a link, not that one, well, that's okay, that takes you to PBS Learning Media. And PBS Learning Media is PBS's, it's a website of a whole bunch of videos that all are linked to content standards, and many of them, most of them, in fact, have support materials that you can use to teach from, and you'll find things for all the way from pre-K to 12, and even professional development sessions for teachers on there. It's a free resource, so if you have not checked it out, you need to, because there's a lot of really great content, and So, Ken Burns, for example, does really great documentaries. And then there's entire Ken Burns collections on learning media to accompany those documentaries. So just know that PBS is here and available. One of the things that PBS has created in response to school shutdowns and things across the country is resources, pre-K through 12 resources for new school routines. These are being released. They're going to release some toolkits monthly, but also you can see that this collection, which is linked on here, has a lot of really cool stuff. So there's teacher planning kits. These will be released every month. So there will be more teacher planning kits as the year goes through. This one is on elections and civic engagement, timely information. And you'll see that on the left-hand side, it's broken down by grade level. So you can filter out the content by grade level. If you want to click on that teacher planning kit, Nikki, I'll just show them really quickly. It's a pretty cool planning kit. You just click on, go ahead and hit view. I just want to show them a couple of things in there. There's a couple of things that you can access in this. That's obviously just a quick little
change the sharing stuff. Sorry.
Oh,
Too many windows that I was.
Don't you love tech? Hey, there we go. It popped up in a new window. All right.
Yeah.
So this is, if you clicked on that little planning kit here, this is a checklist. You can sign up to receive these every month so that they'll email them right to you when they're released. And you can see that there's a little sign up here. And then there's the dates below that you can see of when these are being released. So I guess it's not quite every month, but there are several throughout. And then there's also just a ton of resources for you to share with parents. There's this cool activity that they've designed called Learn Along Bingo. And then this has sort of what is included in the kit. So every planning kit will follow the same kind of format and they'll all look the same. They're just all about different topics. And so this one here, you can see that it specifically sort of, here's the kind of quick glance. So here's the links to the things for pre-K all the way down through grade 12. And these are resources to sort of help you teach, this specific one, election and civic engagement. And I love that it goes from pre-K to 12. And then this just keeps going, that there are grades, and then this sort of maps it out a little bit more in elementary and really kind of gives you a map. It tells you the content, the grade levels. You can see that. The cool thing about these is that they're designed, you can see where it says watch on broadcast and online. They are designed for kids who maybe don't have internet access as well. You could assign them to watch that, for example, in that first box there, that peep in the big wide world. And then these are activities that go with that, which you could, print off and give them as a packet. And so I really love that. These are PBS Kids shows, which, in Idaho, the PBS Idaho Public Television reaches 99% of homes with just an antenna. So if kids don't have internet access, this is a really great way to continue to provide some resources for them in the event that, you're doing hybrid or schools close again. So if you want to just kind of keep scrolling through there, you'll see that here's, there's a planning sheet for educators as well. And all of this stuff has, these are for the various weeks. So all the way through for every week in October, and then and through November, you can continue to see all of these. So this just keeps going through, and it has, again, all of these have the resources to a broadcast channel. Here's the same thing for secondary. So it's a broadcast episode, but they can also find it online. And then the tools and the resources that go with it. So I hope there's some really cool learn along bingo sheets in here too. I mean, this is like, we're still going here. And then here's some professional learning opportunities that PBS is offering as well. So if you need more professional development, or you're looking for things to kind of, hone your practice, then there's always a list of those that sort of relate to what we're talking about as well. There's some cool learn along bingo packets that have been created. Again, it's more than just bingo. It's having kids interact with the media as well. And again, designed so that, and you can kind of see those on the side there, but right there, there's some nature ones. And anyway, they're pretty cool as well, My Family and Me. And they have, you can see that there's also like a scavenger hunt. There's all of these additional resources that go with this. And it's have the kids go out and find animals in nature and illustrate that. And here's a resource that goes with Eleanor Wonders Why and talks about having the kids go outside and look at leaves. And there's just there's so much content. And this is just one collection on learning media. But the goal really was, and I was just on a webinar with the folks who designed this at PBS. The goal really was, we realized that educators are doing so much on their own and they're designing all of this from scratch. And so we're hopeful that we can just give you this collection of stuff. Here you go. And perhaps it will be helpful in helping you navigate, online learning, and that you don't have to go out and try and find all of these resources and gather them and put them together. They're sort of all right here in a kit for you. So if you're interested in these, like I said, there was a link in that first little letter that you can sign up, and they'll email you every time they come out. And they are releasing them. You saw several times throughout the year. I think there's 5 or 6 in the works for throughout the school year. So yeah, that's really the kind of one thing that I wanted to point out from PBS Learning Media. There's other amazing and wonderful resources on learning media, but if you use nothing else, I hope that you'll use these sort of new school routine collections, because there's a lot of really great content in them.
Cool. So thanks, Carrie. I am excited to share a couple of things that also align to our PBS resources and just give you some resources for providing kids with meaningful practice during this time. I got to attend a webinar for PBS stations that was, one of the guest speakers was the author of this book, The Distance Learning Playbook. It was Douglas Fisher, and he provided some real quick tips and tricks that he said he was hoping teachers would think about as they were planning online experiences for kiddos this year. He said that a lot of teachers are focusing on making their videos and getting their instruction fine-tuned, and something that he hopes they'll shift to next is providing kids with opportunities to practice the skills that they're learning. And he really recommended digital games as a really fun and effective way for kids to practice the skills that they're being taught when their teachers are meeting with them or creating instructional videos for them to learn from. And as I was listening to that, I got really excited because PBS has wonderful games, digital games for kids for all ages. And what some people may not know is our apps and the games on the online platform have all been aligned to learning goals. Unlike other games that kids might want to play that may not have learning objectives attached to them, all of the PBS apps start with the content, starts with a learning goal, and then is aligned to a grade level and specific goals from there. And many of the games and apps that have been created by PBS also have lesson plans included that can be found on PBS Learning Media. And so this sheet, and if you click on this link, it'll take you to the PDF document of this sheet, and you could print it off and share it with families or email it to families so they know what to look for. But it's a 2-page thing that divides the apps by content areas and then gives you the grade level, the target grade level, age level, I should say, that these apps were designed for. Most of the PBS Kids apps are free, and most of them, once they're downloaded, you don't need a Wi-Fi connection to play the games. That's not the case for the PBS Games or PBS Video. Both of those need a Wi-Fi connection, but many of the others don't require that. So kids can play them across multiple devices. And if they can't find it on the app form, they use the same games are available on pbskidsgames.org. On this slide, I'm gonna exit real quick just to go back. And in the notes of this slide, I've linked the app learning goals sheet, as well as the pbs.org/games, and then a list of where to find all the apps. And these are for our pre-K to 3rd grade students looking for practice. On this one, I've shown you how to find games and interactives for older kids. So if you go to PBS Learning Media, and I'm just gonna navigate to there real quick so you can see what it would look like. If you go to PBS Learning Media and you come up here and you wanna search for something by subject. So if you are a math teacher and you're looking for math content, you can go right here to math. And it's going to break it down into the different subjects within math. But if you go to type of resource here, and you choose interactive, that's game. It's interactive. If you touch interactive, it's going to give you all of the games and interactive lessons that exist on PBS Learning Media. You can filter that more by your grade level, and you can go all the way up to high school and above. But if you're looking for 4th grade games in math for practice, you can go through here and find a series of games that might be interesting for your kiddos to practice from. In the notes section, I linked math interactives, English language arts interactive, social studies, and science, just to get you started if you wanted to find those games to practice. The other cool thing about PBS Learning Media is once you choose a game or an interactive activity, it can be shared with students using Google Classroom. And so just clicking on the Share to Google Classroom link automatically connects, and you're probably not seeing it right now because that window isn't being shared, but it automatically connects to a Google Classroom, and you can create that assignment right there from Learning Media. And so if kids are already in Google Classroom, they can use that. The other great thing is now that Seesaw allows us to embed links on the draw canvas. You can also take the link from a game and insert that into a Seesaw activity. So kids of all ages can get their practice with these games. So those were the tips and tricks I wanted to share, and I think we've come to the end of our presentation here. We promised you those emails, and there they are. And if there's anyone in the crowd that wants to pose a question or ask about anything that they're interested in, now's the time. You can put it in the chat box, or you can turn on your microphone and ask away. I think we did a really good job. Well, thanks to both of our teachers who joined us today, and we really appreciate your time. This is a challenging school year, and we appreciate that you gave up a little bit of time to share your expertise. And the learning kits that Carrie just shared, I think, Gabe, you're going to be creating one of those. Is that right, with the All-Star program?
Yeah, no, that's what we'll be working on. So excited for that. And like I said, guys, yeah, just keep an eye out. I'll be sending out some more videos and more in-depth how-to videos, in a sense, for tech needs for teachers as well as students. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording, and we appreciate your